Hello student, welcome to History and Political Science Standard 9. Let us continue lesson first, Post-World War Political Development, Part 5. In the previous lecture, we have seen armed race, creation of regional organism, non-alignment and non-alignment movement. Now, we are going to learn evaluation of the non-aligned movement. The non-aligned movement has opposed colonism. Colonism means to go to go to one's country to other country and spread the business. Imperialism means to spread the kingdom outside and rule it. And racism means the appetite, that is color racism, black and white. So these three things were opposed by non-aligned movement: colonism, imperialism, and racism. It has encouraged the resolution of international dispute by peaceful means. So whatever disputes arises in the world, for example, at present the dispute with China and India is going on related to Ladakh region. So such dispute has to be resolved, has to be solved by peaceful means. India led this movement under the guidance of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. India continued to actively support the movement afterwards as well. Afterwards means after the Cold War, also the movement was going on. Even after the end of the Cold War, the importance of the movement has not reduced. So this movement still has a value. The non-aligned movement is based on eternal principle of humanism. So humanism is more important over here, that one should respect other human being. Second one is global peace. There should not be wars in the world, and no more any world war like first and second. And equality. We all human beings are equal. So there is no question of racism, black and white, no casteism, no rich and poor. In this way, equality has to be fostered in the world. It has inspired the less developed countries to come together. It has encouraged the resolution of international dispute by peaceful means. So negotiation has to be there peacefully, by dialogues, by resolution, by sign an agreement, by treaties, but it has to be peacefully done. While taking a firm stand on disarmament, fostering human rights, the non-aligned movement put forth the problem of poor, undeveloped countries firmly. So here was the platform created for undeveloped countries to put their problem forth before the world. This movement made a demand of a new international economic order, which is considered as NIEO, New International Economic Order. Summarizing briefly, this significance of the non-aligned movement has not reduced even if the Cold War is over. So the value of non-aligned movement is still continuing. It's inspired the less developed countries to come together. So many countries came together under the under the banner of non-alignment aligned movement. It brought several new streams of economic and social changes into international politics. So, new streams, new economic policies, new changes, social and economic changes were brought by non aligned movement. It gave these countries the confidence to assert themselves with self respect in international politics. So, earlier it so happened that in the international politics, either the superpower or the big countries, large countries, is to have their dominance over there. The small countries were, they cannot say, they didn't have a say over there. But with this movement, it gave these countries the confidence to assert, to speak it out themselves with self respect. This was an important part of non aligned movement. End of the Cold War. The next topic we'll move to. The Cold War that has dominated international politics since 1945 came to an end in 1991. It was an important event that happened towards the end of the last century. There were many reasons for the end of the Cold War, such as number one, the Soviet Union adopted the policy of opening up the economy. So, open policy was was taken up by the Soviet Union, was accepted by them. The state loosened up its control of the economy. So it was no more state, but the globe has the control over the economy. Number two, the then president of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, implemented the policy of Perestroika, which means restructuring, and glasnost means openness. Due to these policies, the control over the media reduced. Important changes took place in the political and economic spheres. That is, these spheres were restructured. This gave impetus to democracy. So, in the Russia, democracy started at that time. As the East European countries, under the influence of the Soviet Union, adopted the capitalist and democratic paths, the regime were changed. So old regime, old system were changed, and they all adopted the democracy. The Soviet Union disintegrated and several new nations were created out of it. So earlier it was union of a large area. Now it got disintegrated and a new countries came out of it, emerged out of it. Russia was the biggest country in the Soviet Union. Why so? NATO still exists, but its nature is no longer military. Find out the countries that are member of NATO. So, my dear student, you can still find out that. Suggest a word. When there is only one superpower and several countries are dependent upon it, such an international system is called a unipolar system. One nation, one superpower is ruling, is controlling. and the others are dependent on that superpower. The division of nations between two superpowers is called as bipolarization. So world is divided into two superpower, and other small nations are under their dominance. This is called as bipolarization. When many countries emerge as superpowers in the international system, what can that system be called? Write an essay on the topic futility of war. Some points have been given below to help you discuss them. Number one, any problem can be solved by discussion and negotiation. Number two, problems cannot be solved by war. Number three, war puts a spanner in the wheel of development. So, in this way, two questions are given to you to solve. Please read this part, my dear student, and in the next lecture, we will continue to study post Cold War world. Till then, all the best. Have a good time.